Absolutely fabulous Saturday and a August market update. So here's the thing. There's a lot of folks that are saying that, existing sales are down for the sixth straight month in a row. Well, they're right. And as expected, but here's the funny thing. Our numbers are upticking, and that is normal because, again, everything is, well, we're always looking in the rearview mirror. Now, is it normal based on the fact that mortgage interest rates have gone up a full 2 points? Yes, that would be a given. Now, does that mean that the values of homes are on their way down? Well, we're going to talk about that. So let's get our metrics rolling here. With that, let's make sure that you guys are subscribing, because remember, this is free. This is just good information. There's no selling. It's just free. So share the link. Listen, the more you share this link with your friends and coworkers and people that are looking at either buying or selling, it helps others to see it so they can make a really good business decision. That's all that is, okay? And it is for us locally. I don't do the nationwide thing because it's irrelevant. But for the folks here, hey, you know what? Share the information. That way they can make a really good business decision, regardless of who they work with. They just get to make the best decision, hopefully like yourself. All right. The numbers here are absolutely doing really well. And let's sidebar really quick. So last week, came back from fishing, tried to do a Facebook gig, and of course, like today, again, another change. And it's when you're on your phone and you're trying to figure things out, it's part near impossible. So for all the people at Facebook, I just really want to thank you for changing this every week. That's my little political comment for the day. Anyway, back to the show. Here we go. We've got some really good numbers. And in fact, it's funny because Ewan from the Association of Realtors, right? He said home prices have increased at a pace that far exceeds wage gains, right? Or the salary that we make. And this is, again, on a national level. Now, Mr. Yoon is super, super smart. I have met him. He is a great guy. Probably one of the most humble people for his position I have ever met. Absolutely great guy. Anyway, he continues to say, especially for low and middle income workers. Now, overall, the national price deceleration inevitably followed the softening sales, providing well-positioned prospective buyers a small measure of welcomed relief, meaning that our inventory started going up as mortgage interest rates go up. Yes, it's like being killed by 1,000 paper cuts because you finally get a little bit of relief, but the cost goes up, right? And you got to wonder which one is worse, multiple offers, massive escalations, or interest rates. Well, I'm going to go with multiple offers are more caustic because interest rates are other than they go up and down every day, they're more of a given. They're a constant, right? All right. So a constant meaning that they're always going up and down. Anyway, so with that being said, he says overall, the recent dip in mortgage rates will bring additional buyers to the market, especially those placed where home prices are still relatively affordable and where jobs are being added. We are one of the top 5 markets throughout the United States, and in fact, we're in the top 10 unfortunate most expensive markets also, but also in the top 8 most stabilized markets. And that's actually really good also. And we'll get into that one a little bit later with foreign investors. When we take a look at the numbers here, our numbers actually are doing really well. Now, some folks, because Vikas is going to show the chart, this chart for you guys right there, okay? The dark green being the homes sold, light green being the homes available. And in the last couple of months, we have seen this right there go and people are going, oh my God, what happened? Okay, where we have more inventory. Well, that's a given, okay? Sales dropped off. Why? Well, because of 2 points for mortgage rates. Is that a horrible thing? No. Why? This is called perspective. Now we have the timeline when technically you guys are supposed to be home, but you weren't. You were out buying homes. And during that brief period of time, the feds were buying mortgage-backed securities and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. Okay? Why? To stimulate the economy, in which it did. Then people felt that it got a little crazy. We had some international issues. We have a change of administration, different policies. Then all of a sudden, the feds are told, stop buying mortgage-backed securities. You need to start selling $2.1 trillion worth of mortgage-backed securities, which then flooded the market because it's a publicly traded stock and whatnot. Interest rates go back up again. How can you tell? Right there. See? So when you take a look at it, this is 2018, 2019, which looks mighty familiar to this, which means we've gone back to what you are commonly hearing, pre-pandemic times. Because when you look at this, we can see our COVID timeline, mortgage-backed securities being bought by the feds, rates go down, create scarcity, then they stop buying, selling them, boop, 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 boop. Rates go up, inventory goes up, sales pull back. Okay, that's normal economics. That's supply and demand. Don't worry about it. Are homes still appreciating? The answer is yes. Homes are still appreciating. We're up, I think, in some areas 10%. I think we're 14% overall, 6% on, I think, the entire Northwest MLS-ish, from our October reports, which tells us we're still doing well. For the folks that are out there that have been saying, hey, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait, George. I'm going to wait because prices are going to really crash and burn. We have 1.8 months of inventory. A healthy market is 4 to 6 months. For those that are waiting for this to happen, we've already hit the 6s. We bought back down, goes back up again. Yes, it's going to hit the 7s. Is that normal? Yes. Are buyers adjusting? Yes. Are sellers now starting to readjust the brain to where market value is and not where inflated buyers are going to because of scarcity? Yes. Is that a bad thing? No. Is that property value preservation? Yes. That's why we ripped the Band-Aid off. When we take a look at our numbers here, look at this solds over the running day average. Now they jumped up from 1,000 to 1,400. The new on market, still right in there, around 1,500, 1,400. Look at the pendant. Pendant, I said, should be above 1,800. Boop, we're there. We have been and will continue for the next 2 weeks to be, again, very aggressive in the market. Now, it's very interesting. You said, George, you just said the next 2 weeks. Yes, for those that weren't here last week or the ones that weren't quite paying attention, we're going to hit our next real estate ghost town. We have Labor Day weekend. It's a long weekend. People's brains go elsewhere because they want to go on vacation. You have students getting back in school. Brains go elsewhere. Literally, right? I'm just kidding. All right. Then you have last minute summer vacations. Brains go elsewhere. Why? Homes do not become a top priority. When they know the snow's coming, not in a literal sense, we don't get that much snow here, but when the season's going to change, like, oh, I need to go out, I need to get my last vacation, I need to go to my last hurrah, whatever it is, my kegger, whatever it might be, right? Plus students getting back in school, plus a 3-day vacation. That is the second trifecta, which leads to the yes, as I get a lot of comments on this. I've never heard it called the real estate ghost town. Yes, everything slows down. It gets like crickets. Now, if Vikas could have crickets, there we go. Then that's our real estate market. But at the end of September, boop, it picks back up again until about the middle of December. Normal seasonal market, okay? Expect it. When you see the numbers start to change, don't panic, all right? Okay, so as we are looking at our numbers and we look at the the actives at 112% above year over year. Okay? Year over year, yes. Because when you look at this, last year, right, and the year before, we were drawing down that inventory. We didn't have any inventory. The sellers were a little greedy. However, normal market, right? Normal markets, this is status quo. Status quo. So actually, if we compared this number to 2018 or 2019, this would be negative number, not a positive number. We would be lower. Just saying. When we come down here, new is up 1.5%. Okay. Pended and sold, both showing to be lagging a little bit. Sure. Year over year, if we take interest rates back, in fact, here's what's really fun. The reason we're seeing this big bump also is because interest rates, have been, boop, they'll pop below 4%, boop, they'll pop up above 4%, and that's having a big impact, but buyers are adjusting to rate. They're adjusting to their price. And all things considered, they're still seeing great values. But the best part is they're seeing more inventory, which is a relief. Yes, interest rates are up a little bit higher. Okay, so they make a little adjustment on price. Sellers, you get a lot more pace with this, which is, there's a lot of sellers that are saying, you know what? I know it's not the crazy market before, and sure, my house didn't go off market within 8 hours. But you know what? I really appreciate the fact that this is a much more palatable pace. And that's a big deal for everybody all the way around. Okay, when we take a look at new and we can come up here, look, we're up 21.9% on pendants, month over month, August over July. That's a big deal. Now, looking at the month of August 2021 and August 2022, yeah, our numbers are in the negatives. Again, not unexpected. Again, interest rates had a massive role in that. If we go back, however, to August of 2019, 2018, our numbers are in a positive. So take it for what that's worth. Now, sales are up 5%. Remember, that's looking in the rear view window. So you're going to see these numbers bop up, okay, because they're lagging, right? You're going to see them bop up, and then all of a sudden you're going to see them back down again. Probably about mid-December, you're going to see them start coming back down again. Then you're going to see them going back up again in October. And because, again, it's lagging. We are closing transactions from 30 days ago, right? Always the rearview mirror. So it's a lagging number. This is a dynamic number, dynamic, lagging number, okay? So this has a important element to it. However, is it's not as critical as looking at the pendant because that shows us immediate trend, all right? Okay, now, I said that it was important to understand what was going on because mortgage rates, they've been bobbling around, and here's something super important, okay? If you guys could put up warning, right? Here's the warning. Mortgage marketing madness. That sounds like a really good one. The triple M. Mortgage marketing madness. All right, here's the thing. With the massive layoffs of lenders and servicers and whatnot, because there's not the massive amount of refis and everything else, and including some of the big franchises doing major layoffs, right? Because things have slowed down a bit. All right. The mortgage companies are doing massive marketing madness. All right. And there are some crazy things. I saw a post today with mortgage interest rates of 4.25. That is a full 1%. 1%, 1 point below average par pricing today. And I just smiled because when I went back and looked, they had this little teeny tiny writing. It's called the fine print, right? That marketing, the cost of that was well over a point, okay? To get that rate, to get that buy down. And I'm going to again tell you guys, watch the 5 questions you need to ask when getting mortgage rates. Or you are going to be that little fly stuck in the web that's going to be all hog-tied up. I don't know if a fly can be hog-tied, tagged and bagged. Either way, you're going to be caught in somebody's web, and it's going to be too costly, too short of time because you're under contract trying to close your home to make the change when you realize, oh, I did not know it cost that much to get that. If you're buying a $1 million house, that could be a, believe it or not, $10,000 to $20,000 buy down cost to get a rate. And that may not make sense financially, because I think in Q1, first quarter of next year, towards the end of Q1, I think we're going to see better mortgage rates. It's just a prediction based on certain things. All right, be careful. Watch that video. Sure, we talk about the mortgage rates at that time, which are in the threes. The message is what is critical. And watch that video. I cannot tell you that enough. Now, another thing that's happening that you need to be super, super aware of when we talk about mortgage rates, that is the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, or what's called the PCE. The feds watch it. It is what they define as far as the greatest thing to tell them. Do they need to do more with the short term, because they have nothing to do with long-term mortgages, your 30, 15-year, 20-year mortgages, right? Those are publicly traded. Feds, home equity line of credits, HELOCs, right? Your car, your credit cards, things like that. Those things are based off of the PCE, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index. That is coming out next week. And in fact, here you go. You can see, right, whoops, there we go, right there. Next one's coming out next week. Super important. If you are looking at doing a refinance, because maybe you have a mortgage in the sixes or something, or you're wanting to get into the fours, next week you need to be super, super paying attention, because many times when the feds actually raise their rates, mortgage rates drop. Why? Because if they get a bad report, well, you know what happens. You get a bad report card in school, you take it to your parents and you run to your room. Not that ever happened to me. But anyway, that's what happens, right? So all the investors, they take the report card to mom and dad. All the investors, they go hide. And that means that they're going into the 10-year treasuries and mortgage-backed securities into bonds, which increase their value, which then drop mortgage rates. So pay attention. Next week might be a big deal if you're looking at locking into a mortgage, or you're looking at doing a refinance, or you're right on the edge and you haven't locked in. You're like, oh, it's getting scary. That would be hugely beneficial, because you could see a pretty significant price drop in mortgage rates, which will be interesting to see. But who knows? We have to wait for the report card to come out. Now, the other thing that's super important, it'll be the last bit, and then we're going to talk about the conclusion. Here's the thing, right? Yes, we're in the top 10, one of the top 10 most expensive markets. Yes, we're in the top 8 as far as the most stable markets, in the top 5 of the most desirable markets, okay? However, did you know that America on a whole, this is super important for those of you out there that are saying, hey, why all of a sudden are we seeing a bunch of cash offers? And I'm going to go through that in a second, because America is a very safe haven for placing your money financially, right? Between April 21st and March 22nd, international buyers bought $59 billion worth of U.S. residential real estate. Residential real estate, okay? That's according to the numbers at the National Association of Realtors, also known as NAR. Now, we've also had a massive flood of Chinese buyers coming in the wake of their financial crisis, their financial housing meltdown, and all of the issues that are going on there. We have seen a massive influx of cash buyers coming in, not only Chinese, but European, all over the world, people coming in and buying real estate because it is stable. Why do you think they would do that? And people here are saying, oh, no, and they're coming in droves. And in fact, 44% of all international purchases are cash, which means then, because they're also targeting lower to medium priced homes, sometimes some of the other buyers are buying more modern luxury homes that allow for multi-generational so that they can have an au pair, have additional family living with them, whatever it might be. But understand they're coming back, and they're coming back relatively strong because of what's going on in their countries and in their areas, and they're looking for a safe haven, which again is going to start drawing down inventory. Be aware of that. That is not going to be a surprise. We are seeing a significant uptick in those numbers. Anyway, if you have any questions, post them. We answer them within 30 minutes, except for on Sundays. Our market on the whole is doing well. Are we concerned about our 6-month slowdown? No. Why? Expected. Why? Mortgage rates are up 2%, but are values coming down? The answer is no. No. I guess it would be no that way. So we are still seeing an appreciation. We have still very much a shortage of inventory that is out there. 1.8 months in King County, Snohomish County, and Pierce, the three that we track the heaviest. We do have other counties. There are other counties that are up at 3% that are normally in the 6% or 6 months of inventory, right? So everybody's still horrifically low on what is available. If you have any questions, again, post them. It's free. Share. Please subscribe. Please share the link and tell the folks here that, yes, we like this information. It is good business information for us and our families. In the meantime, I will see you guys on the next video. It's a little cloudy today. Enjoy a beautiful hike out there. Regardless, stay safe. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.